Please note that this list does not contain episodes from Justice League Unlimited. That is another countdown for another year. And I just suddenly felt a cold shiver down my spine after using the word countdown in a video about something DC. Oh well. Hello and welcome to Animated Revolution, where cartoons get put in their place. If you're wondering about the couch, it's because I live down here now until further notice. You spill blood all over the place. Yeah, you said your parents don't find about it for 2 months and you're kicked out of your room. Some people. Anyway, Justice League was awesome in 2001 and it's still awesome today. In 2001, after the success of Batman the Animated Series, along with Superman the Animated Series, which is still infinitely better than Man of Steel, and Batman Beyond, DC decided that they should make an animated series with both Batman and Superman in it for the whole series, especially after the viewing success of the Superman episode World's Finest. But this series included 5 other superheroes in the usual cast lineup, such as Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Wally West as the Flash, Jon Stewart as the Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl. And naturally, it was a big hit, mixing everything that was great about Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series into one epic package, with wonderful animation, stellar storytelling, great characters, surprisingly fantastic twists and turns for each episode, and every episode being deliciously excellent. Well, every episode except Twilight. But honestly, I don't think anyone could really and completely judge which episodes were better than the rest in this show. But that doesn't mean I can't make a list pretending that I can. This is the top 13 Justice League episodes. Number 13. Only a Dream. Remember those nightmares you'd have about your worst fears? Well, I never had that. But this episode exposes those of the Justice League. Well, except for Batman, the Martian Manhunter, and Wonder Woman because, well, Martian Manhunter slept before the episode, Wonder Woman isn't in the episode, and Batman is Batman. Here we're introduced to a villain named Dr. Destiny, with the coolest villain design possible, and the voice of William Atherton.
They caused an explosion.
Dr. Destiny exposes the worst fears of the Justice League one by one. And those worst fears are as follows. The Flash is afraid of going so fast that everyone around him stops moving, and demonic cannibal children. Apparently. Green Lantern's worst fear is becoming so engulfed by the power of the ring that his home is foreign to him and he becomes nothing more than the power of the ring. Hawkgirl's worst fear is pretty much claustrophobia, and Superman is afraid of losing control of his powers. Wait, what? Okay, anything who actually knows Superman knows that his greatest fear is not being able to save everyone and being treated as a god in the eyes of men. And not... That's the new rant alarm. I just felt I needed one. It's up to Martian Manhunter and Batman to save their teammates as Jean takes to their minds and Batman battles his own fatigue while also taking a more direct approach to destiny. By the way, did anyone else burst out laughing when they saw that scene with Batman in the coffee shop?
Give me a triple. Now.
Instant classic. Although Dr. Destiny is honestly a pretty lame villain, only able to go mano a mano with Batman because of how tired Bats is. But he's not the reason that this episode is so good. A detailed look into the minds of the League, albeit flawed in some parts, it's an intriguing watch all around.
Give me a triple. Now.
Number 12. Eclipsed. Remember Marvel's J. Jonah Jameson? Well, DC apparently has a less enjoyable version of him in the form of a talk show host named Glorious Gordon Godfrey, who just uses his talk show to talk trash about the Justice League. Why? I don't know. He's just being a jackhole on live TV, as if complaining about something in a video ever made someone popular. He uses the Flash's commercial for an energy bar as a symbol that the Justice League members are just all selfish people.
Cashing in on their image. They turn our kids into bullies and delinquents with their arrogant might makes right policy.
Yeah, I guess that the many times they've saved the Earth amounts to absolutely nothing. You tried to make an honest paycheck by endorsing your status as a superhero? You're trash. He doesn't even have proof that that's the actual Flash in the commercial. It could have just as easily been an actor. And come on, he relates white-collar crime and marriages 50% ending in divorce and the other 50% ending in death to the League. What kind of stupid... This is why I need a rant alarm. And I think I've summed up my feelings about this guy. The reason why I went on a tangent about this Godfrey guy is that he's a major point in this episode, as his presence allows the League to show off just how good they are dealing with this kind of publicity. And it's just so satisfying to see his comeuppance at the end. The episode itself revolves around the Flash being the only one who can stop an ancient race of snake people from using the bodies of the other members of the Justice League, minus Batman, to make the sun go nuclear and wipe out the entire human race. Dear Lord, I love cartoons! It's a great episode that also teaches to freaking think before they act.
And what's wrong with the way I dress?
Oh look, a number transition. Number 11. The Terror Beyond. This episode starts off by having Aquaman and Dr. Fate rescue Justice League villain Solomon Grundy, even revealing his origins as a mob thug who was turned into a soulless zombie who searches the earth for his soul but forgot and instead searches for riches. Huh. So that's where politicians come from. Grundy refuses the gold he was promised for helping Dr. Fate and instead demands the return of his soul as payment for helping them. This episode is not only one big homage to the Cthulhu mythos with some pretty interesting and imaginative visuals, but we also learn a little bit about Hawkgirl and her homeworld of Thanagar, and its former religious beliefs. This episode erupts into not just an interdimensional quest to save the world, but also a search for a man's soul. What's probably the most amazing thing about this episode is that it gives a tear-jerking story arc for Solomon Grundy. Bet you didn't see that coming. It also gets into some debate about faith between Wonder Woman and Hawkgirl, even showing that Hawkgirl is willing to put aside her atheism in order to comfort her friend as he dies. It's an amazing, heartfelt tale of a soulless villain's last and only act of heroism. Number 10. A Better World. Evil Justice League. Do I need to say anything else? Well, I will anyway. In an alternate universe, their Superman and his version of the Justice League, the Justice Lords, goes rogue, and it's up to the Justice League to stop them from taking over their Earth and freeing the Earth of the Justice Lords. But not before, or an out of nowhere but still pretty freaking some battle between the Justice Lords and Doomsday. And we see an unexpected team-up between the League and a certain villain for the purpose of taking down the Justice Lords. However, the more I thought about this episode, the more I found some problems with it. Like, the reasoning for the Justice Lords going rogue is actually pretty stupid. A dead teammate isn't really something that warrants death. Also, this part.
There are at least 6 different ways I can stop you right now.
But they all involve deadly force, don't they?
Not really. He could just super speed over to next to you and lift your hand away from the button. Or he could do the same thing, but instead smash the button. Or he could use his laser vision to laser the button into melting. Or he could just quickly walk to the desk and pull it out and throw it out the window. Do you see where I'm going with this? I also find it pretty ridiculous that the Justice Lords are unopposed by even the other superheroes that were established in the continuity. And that the Guardians of Oa haven't taken away John's ring in this universe. I honestly think that this episode is more intent on getting from point A to point B without establishing any kind of substance in between. Either way, this episode is still enjoyable to watch, unless you suffer from severe nitpicker syndrome. Number 9. Wildcard. Okay, imagine this scenario. The Joker as the host of a live television broadcast, not on Christmas, taking place in Las Vegas, where the Joker has placed 20-something bombs that the Justice League have to find and defuse in time, while also being attacked by the cast of Teen Titans as a metahuman version of the Royal Flush Gang. Yeah, it's as insanely awesome as it sounds. Okay, it is kind of like Christmas with the Joker, but this time the Joker seems to have learned his lesson since then. That lesson being, make sure you have competent goons! And a plan B to fall back on, which is actually the main plan. This episode shows just how deviously minded the Joker really is, and how he is a master of planning the nastiest of schemes that could nearly defeat even the Justice League. If that wasn't already evident by how many times he almost one-ups Batman and almost kills Superman in World's Finest. Acid! Who'd have thunk it? The master plan of the Joker is such a great twist that I will not spoil it for you. It's just so amazing, and you have to watch it for yourself. The episode also serves to further Green Lantern and Hawkgirl's relationship, ending with a touching scene of them together. Plus, probably one of the best Joker lines ever.
Ooh, medical drama, life and death stakes, compelling human conflict. Ratings.
Wildcard. Just dang. Number 8. The Savage Time. The finale of Season 1 had probably one of the most awesome stories to tell. The Justice League go back in time to fight high-tech Nazis in World War II led by Vandal Savage. Unfortunately, Batman isn't along for the ride because, I don't know, the writing staff wanted to see Batman as the leader of a resistance, I guess. The story also results in a number of cameos like Steve Trevor, Easy Company, and the Blackhawks. We even get to see Green Lantern's military training in action when he's stuck without the powers of his ring because he didn't bring his lantern. And I always love to see superheroes make do without their powers or equipment. This episode also allows for a lot of character development for all League members. Not much for Batman though. Especially Wonder Woman. In fact, I can pretty much describe the bulk of this episode with this. America! Yeah! Number 7. Starcrossed. This was the series finale to Justice League until it was picked up again as Justice League Unlimited in 2004. And boy did it finish the show off with a bang. Or a couple of bangs. Some bangs. A lot of bangs. As many bangs as possible from an alien invasion. But first, a little background. Throughout the show, it's been stated that Hawkgirl was from an alien species called the Thanagarians, and that she was transported to Earth accidentally while chasing some criminals. And what does this episode classify this backstory under? Her real backstory is that she was a military lieutenant actually sent to Earth as a scout for Thanagar's military to analyze our weaknesses should their mortal enemies, the Gordonians, attack. Thanagar then invades Earth, though claiming to be here to protect Earth against the Gordonians. Let us see what the almighty computer AI thinks of this story. And even Hawkgirl's fiance comes to visit. Wow, I think that the shippers just took a heavy blow. Earth buys their scam, and then they start construction on big obvious villain device. But what is their true goal?
I'm going to blow up the Earth.
The Justice League actually goes commando, and all three with actual secret identities are forced to reveal them. Or rather, Batman is.
Wally West, Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne.
Okay, who else thought that it was Barry Allen? The JL, of course, kicks their wings with Hawkgirl's help, and an emotional scene with the destruction of the Watchtower takes place. And then it ends with Hawkgirl leaving the League in a pretty heart-wrenching moment. This episode hits all the right points a finale should hit, especially for a show as big as Justice League. And in a way, this is kind of the only way a Justice League could end, as it started with a massive scale alien invasion and ends with the same. I think we can all agree that even if Unlimited hadn't happened, we would be pretty content with this ending.
I love you too.
Number 6. Legends. Remember those old superheroes whose comics were in your grandpa's basement for who knows how long? This episode is an homage to those heroes. In fact, their whole freaking setting is homaged in this episode. The old style cars, the dress styles, that ice cream truck that never seems to stop, a city with seemingly only 2 cops and the campy manner of speaking. But unlike the 60s, not every phrase can be turned into a sex joke today when the Justice League meet the Justice Guild of America. We're all actually pretty much just stand-ins for the Justice Society of America. I'm not kidding! The episode was originally marketed to be the meeting of the Justice League and the Justice Society, but because DC Comics didn't like the way their old school heroes were being depicted, they declined. But with this, can you really blame them?
It's an honor to fight beside you.
The feeling's mutual. You're a credit to your people, son.
That's racist. You'd honestly think this was a time travel episode with its setting, but no. It's an alternate reality episode. We even get a little background on the Green Lantern.
The Street, Tom Turbine, Green Guardsman. They were the stars of my favorite comic book, the Justice Guild of America.
This is too weird.
I know it sounds corny, but those comics taught me what it meant to be a hero. Without them, well, maybe I wouldn't have this ring today.
Wow. Imagine meeting your childhood superheroes for the first time. I don't think you'd be as cool as Green Lantern. But wait, if they're comic book characters, then how do they exist? How is there an alternate reality with them?
The creators of those comics had a subconscious link to this Earth. What they thought was merely imagination was a psychic memory of the Justice Guild's real exploits.
Okay. This episode also ends in tragedy as the JGA are faced with the truth of their world and are forced to make a difficult decision for the fate of the Justice League. This is a great episode that shows us not only to look to the future, but also celebrate the past. Number 5. Comfort and Joy. Yep, the Christmas episode, and the only one-part episode, is present on this list. What's actually really great about this episode is that it's just showing what Christmas is like for the League. Well, 5 of them, since Batman has Watchtower duty and Wonder Woman just isn't present in this story because, which I kind of found as wasted potential, since it could have furthered their relationship with each other. But anyway, you'd kind of think that this episode would be a pretty boring one, right? Well, you'd be wrong! It's actually kind of refreshing to see the League members just hanging out and doing their own thing. Superman invites Djinsin to spend Christmas in Smallville with his parents. No Supergirl cameo though, as he is Mr. Compassion himself, and
That's why I like coming home for the holidays. I can just relax and be myself.
it's the one night of the year where I get to kidnap little boys in the night. I can show them the error of their ways while saying it's all in the name of the Christmas spirit. Silver Age comic. Green Lantern and Hawkgirl have a snowball fight on a snow planet, and it's actually pretty fun to watch the military-conditioned space cop acting like a kid, which is then exchanged for Hawkgirl's favorite way to celebrate, a bar fight. Because you can't walk into a bar or in an action show without a bar fight. We also see the Flash trying to help orphans get a very, very, very sold-out toy that they want, which I think describes the children's entertainment of today as a whole.
Rubber Ducky! I'm the Rubber Ducky with all the fly moves, rocking in his house with my tight grooves. Go Rubber, go Rubber, go Rubber Ducky!
Cartoon Network, I present to you your Lord and Savior. The Flash even gets some help from the Ultra Humanite after he's pretty much ruined Christmas by accidentally destroying the toy. He even improves on it.
That night, as Clara slept beneath the Christmas tree, her beloved toy came alive to lead her on a wonderful adventure.
The Ultra Humanite brings you the gift of culture! This is not only one of the best Justice League episodes, but overall one of the best Christmas specials I've ever seen, as this episode fills me with exactly what its namesake is: comfort and joy.
Merry Christmas, John.
Number 4. Secret Origins. Please tell me that nobody thought that this wouldn't be on the list. The episode that started it all by bringing together Earth's greatest champions to fight off an alien invasion from Mars by not Martians. Weird. It also introduces to us Jon Stewart, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, and gave origins to Wonder Woman in this show. This episode also establishes the status quo for the series with stellar storytelling and ingenious plot. It also celebrates what makes superhero cartoons so great, despite showing sometimes of becoming like Superman 4.
Plan was ratified. While Superman has been working around the clock to disarm hundreds of deadly warheads.
Beginning the show's legacy of greatness with lots and lots of bangs, of course Secret Origins holds high honors. And who doesn't love this part?
Don't even think about it.
Number 3. Injustice for All. With how powerful the Justice League are, of course someone would eventually get the idea to pull villainous forces together to combat them. And who else would you expect to be the first than Lex Luthor himself? Their first bout with the League doesn't go as desired. In fact, they get their rear ends handed to them on a silver platter. And the only ones sustaining any real injury from the fight are Copperhead and Batman. Let's face it, even Batman's ego has got to get bruised after that, and not being able to save a little girl from a burning building without Hawkgirl's help. Ouch. This is essentially a Batman episode that shows that he's not only awesome with his skills in fighting and gadgetry or deduction, but also a master of manipulation. We also get to see the return of...
You're crazy.
And what's wrong with that? It's done wonders for me.
Oh! This redesign is more beautiful than I ever imagined. Thank you, Bruce Timm. Thank you. Yeah, I love the Joker in this episode. I love how exaggerated all his expressions are. He looks like a psychotic Looney Tunes character with this.
How'd you get free?
I could have escaped any time, but I thought I'd stick around to keep an eye on you clowns.
You're despicable.
Also, because I want to make this joke.
You want to know how I got these scars? Why so serious?
It also shows just how much Lex still needs to work on his villainy after all this time.
Don't need him anymore.
Lex, listen to someone who knows. Don't wait. Do it now.
You don't like my decisions? Leave.
And they say I'm crazy.
What? Those restraints are pure titanium. He'll never get loose. And that stasis field will prevent the Martian from locating him.
Wow. You are very stupid. In fact, you can use this episode to justify any reasoning for Batman being awesome. I'm Batman, and I was the downfall of the Injustice Gang, and from titanium chains. Because I'm Batman. This episode is action-packed, clever, and, with the return of the Joker, really dang funny. What else can you say about this episode but...
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
No, I'm not taking this off. What are you gonna do, cut to a number transit? Freaking! Number 2. Secret Society. With a team like this, you can't always expect everyone to get along all the time. Everyone has something about everyone else that they have to bear if they're going to work as an effective unit. And our own simian mastermind, Gorilla Grodd, uses his psychic powers to subtly influence them to bring those to the surface, resulting in a team-building exercise which shows off Green Lantern's military need for perfect execution, Superman's overactive compassion in not letting his teammates take any hits, Hawkgirl's hot-headedness, and Batman just doing things on his own effectively, eventually resulting in the breakup of the team. Sheesh. It's like when the Beatles broke up, but with the more dire consequences. Grodd also forms his own new supervillain team, which he has dubbed...
We call it a society. A secret society.
He said it! He said it!
One by one, the Society uses its teamwork to take down the League members, and of course, Grodd's head is so big that he has to pull dumb villain move number 56. The episode once again has a pretty good twist that you might have seen coming, which leads into the epic final act of the story. Also, it's just so beautiful to see this scene.
You didn't think I'd come here without reinforcements, did you?
Wish I'd thought of that. Oh wait, I did.
Divided they fall, but together they kick tail. This is one episode that could show it no better.
All we can do is say we're sorry and move on.
And the #1 Justice League episode is Hereafter. Superman dies. Or at least everyone thinks he's dead. After battling a bunch of villains from Superman the Animated Series, the Justice League are left with a fatal loss. Superman. And by the Toyman, no less. Yeah, of all the villains to take out Superman, you'd think Brainiac, Darkseid, Lex Luthor, Metallo. Whoa, but not the Toyman. Okay, he's not really dead, just transported to a place that I won't spoil for you. This allows the Justice League to truly show their strength as they ask the question, without Superman, is there a Justice League? We see how the League copes with his death, and then it allows for some good development. And they even have a freaking wake for Superman. And even Lex Luthor and Lois show up. However, the best development for this episode is Batman, who refuses to accept the death of Earth's greatest champion for good reason.
Because he's not dead. What tipped me off was the lack of evidence.
Sir?
I brought all this from the crime scene, and I've examined it every way I know how.
And you found?
Absolutely nothing. Matter can't be created or destroyed. Just changed from one form into another.
As you say, sir. I believe I heard something about that when I attended grammar school.
So, unless the law of conservation of mass has been repealed, there's still hope.
I love this, as it not only shows Batman dealing with the loss of his best friend, and in the way you'd kind of expect him to deal with it, but we also get a truly wonderful scene of Batman in front of Superman's grave when he thinks that he's chasing phantoms.
Another dead end. I'm beginning to wonder if I might be wrong. I've got some things to say. I should have said them when you were here, but despite our differences, I have nothing but respect for you. I hope you know that. You showed me that justice doesn't always have to come from the darkness. I'll miss. What did you always call it, Clark? The never-ending battle?
Somebody give this show 50 Emmys! No other show deserves it like this! We also get an appearance from Lobo as he decides that he's going to take Superman's place. With the League obviously refusing. But he does help the League stop a supervillain riot, which would of course take place after the death of the most powerful superhero in the world. In part 2, we get to see just whether or not Superman is actually dead. And he's not. Just in a barren wasteland with a red sun. Here we get to see Superman roughing it and outside of his element without his powers. We get an explanation as to what the heck went on here by a very unexpected guest, revealing quite the shocker. It's a beautifully written episode full of heart, development, and what else do you expect from the guy who wrote Justice League Doom?
As an ongoing tribute to Kal-El of Krypton, the immigrant from the stars who taught us all how to be heroes.
Hereafter. It's just awesome! And that was the top 13 Justice League episodes. I hope you all enjoyed me pretending to know what I was doing. And I think I'm in the mood for 2 reviews next month. Laters. Hey Dallas, did you leave a book down here?
When would I have time to read a book when you have me making juice out of those berries that we found?
Oh yeah. How's that going, by the way?
Very well. It's stir fast to write, right?
No, 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 no! I never want to take this mask off, but it's really itching, and so I'm going to. I will go to every coffee shop every night until Batman shows up.